Tell me how.
Hey, good morning. So, sitting here at base camp still at Godfrey's Bridge. We had a very pleasant night. I think we, again, fell asleep pretty early. Stella was really tired from the day's activities. Today, we are going to go, it's probably going to be a full day. We're going to get started a little bit earlier. It's about 10 a.m. now, maybe a little after. And I'm going to get started a little bit early because we're going to go look for the ghost town of Mount. Not sure if there is much left of it. And we'll I do know, well, it's a known location in the sense that it's at a major intersection, but it is one of the stops, again, on the stage route from Little Lake Harbor all the way into Philadelphia, via the various roads we've been talking about. So, I don't know what's there. My guess is it's more of the same type of thing. Maybe some cellar holes, maybe nothing. Maybe it's totally gone. But we do know the location. So we're gonna have that that adventure. And so come on, let's go. I'm looking on Onyx as I'm talking here. So, yeah, what we're gonna do is just go up to here's one for you. We're gonna make a left turn up here onto, are you ready? Devious Mount Road. Okay. Yep, I'm not kidding. It's Devious Mount Road. Wow. Yeah, this will be interesting. Here we go. It's wet, huh? All right. I'm not getting stuck today. Got to be careful. The gladiators have these fenders that stick out. Just got to make sure you don't leave one on one of these trees. Yeah, you don't want to get stuck on something called the Devious Mount Road. I don't know. I'd like to try my winch out one of these days. Okay, here we go. That's not bad. Devious is right. Whoa, there was something under that puddle. Good thing I went slow, huh? Hopefully it wasn't a dead body. I don't think this is going to be too bad. Famous last words. That wasn't too bad. Liking the ruts going down into that was that way before the water, and I see some logs or whatever. Yeah, we don't want, again, this is going to be a tight squeeze through here with the Gladiator, but we'll get it. Just take it easy. I think that's part of a bridge, and that's a 4x4 piece in there. Interesting. Too. I don't like these ones that have the steep banks because, again, I could get out and measure it with a stick or something, but you know what? I'm not going to bother. Even the turnarounds, or the turnout is a little bit seen better days, huh? Uh-oh, there's another one. We're going to have to do a figure 8 turnout. Ooh, this is like a lake right here, this one. Yeah, I'll say. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hard left. Watch those fenders. Okay. Alright, let's try it. Okay, so far so good. Wow, this is like unbelievable. Okay, well, you know what? We're going through. Let's see. It's not too bad. Okay. Whew. That was certainly devious. See where the road gets its name from. Let's see. That's not too bad. I could put 2 tires up on the side here. Watch, it's all quicksand. intersection should be coming up. Doesn't look like anything lives here anymore. So this road here that we're coming up to, the intersection, is Washington Quaker Bridge Road. This is it. This is the major artery intersection, whatever. Over here. Okay, so here we are at the intersection. It's hard to imagine that there was once a thriving little town here, or village. Stella, you ready to go back across the road here? Let's go see this cellar hole. We got to be careful though, because it's kind of hidden, even when you're standing on top of it. I don't want you falling into that, whatever it is. Oh, you know what? That isn't a cellar, I don't think. That, my friends, oh my gosh, that's a well. That is a well. Can you see the bricks down it? No, so I'm not pulling you out of there. Well, I would if you fell in, but I'm gonna make sure you don't fall in by keeping your leash at about 2 feet. But can you see down in there the stone, and it's round? I mean, here, we'll just go over the top of it. Wow, that is a well. Okay. Look at that. So this was somebody's well, and that means there was a house here at some point. Good thing I was very careful approaching this, because it falls straight down. I don't know how deep that is. I think, I could see plants at the bottom, but who knows how much mud or whatever, God forbid. This is sort of a depression. That's obviously a brand new something or other that the state put in. Oh, look. That, my friends, is masonry. So I'm not sure what, and here, this is masonry. So, what I'm seeing, again, there's masonry right over here, in this area, and then I'm finding this pretty major depression. It's about a 12-inch drop right down there, and it's literally coming in line in this direction with the masonry. So I'm thinking this was some sort of a cellar hole that at some point was filled in. I don't know whether the state did it or what, but it does make sense that would have been, if a dwelling was going to be here with a well, and maybe it was the town well, I don't know, that this was some sort of a cellar hole. Was it the site of the tavern right here? Maybe. But let's go across the road and see what we can see. This is a fairly deep cellar hole, obviously right on the corner. I'd say this structure was over 20 feet wide, and probably the same in depth you know, length, whatever. It looks as if it was, yeah, the cellar hole was kind of a, I'm going to say squarish itself, but then there's this depression, almost like a stairwell was here that went down into it. So, not sure. This could have been the tavern site. I know there are some experts, and certainly I'm not one of them, but there are some experts that say what we saw there on the other side was a cellar hole for the tavern. I don't think so. This is right up on the road. It's got a deep cellar hole. Of course, this tree is growing out of it, but you know, this is a large structure, and it may have been a dwelling for a large family. You know, rumor has it that a family with like over 10 children lived here, and so on and so forth. But this cellar hole is either the tavern or a dwelling, a large dwelling. Let's keep looking around. This high grass doesn't make it easy, but again, you can see this thing. It's very pronounced. Come on, Stell. So now we've moved a ways back from the intersection. That tree sort of in center right frame is where the cellar hole is. I'm just coming back because typically people would build things in symmetry. They'd, you know, line up either right to left, left to right, front to back, whatever. And since that's right up on the corner, I'm thinking that, you know, if they built another structure like a well or whatever, we just got to be real careful, Stella, that we don't come up on one of those wells like we saw across the road there. Yeah, so we're coming off right up on the road. Let's go back a little further. I mean, Stella likes the tall, Stella likes the tall grass. See my shadow? Hey, we're not alone. Okay, what's this? Nah. Well, let's see over here, Stella. It's just another drainage ditch here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any other. I mean, with the grass this tall here, you know, this meadow-like area is not. That's not conducive to seeing the lay of the land, so to speak. Stella's got her nose to something. What? I must say, she's been very, very. What's the word? I'll just call it sniffy at mount here. I mean, this is unusual for her. I've been having to drag her away from things. So I'm not exactly sure what it is about the mount intersection and everything, but she just doesn't want her nose to leave the ground. And that's obviously the Jack Russell in her. Okay, so it would appear that I'm standing in, or we are standing in yet another, much more shallow, but it's a square imprint, and it's maybe at its deepest point, I'm going to say 18 inches or so, extending towards me from the base of this tree here. And I'm she's really going crazy, and I'm not sure what it is, but she's on. There's a scent here. Maybe you heard, maybe a deer or whatever. I don't know. Maybe a fox. Anyway, so this would have been, right in line with the cellar hole that's much deeper, right? Maybe 50 feet or so up at the corner, and this is just south of that cellar hole in the same line. So this appears to be maybe, I'm gonna guess this is probably the same size structure, maybe 20 by 20 square. So let's see if I can walk back over here. I'm just nervous about wells. Especially in high grass. Right, Stella? At least you're on a leash, I can catch you. But yeah, so at least 2 dwellings and a well across the street. I'm not sure what to make of the tavern site. Not the cavern site. Let's go head back. Whoa! Do you see how the ground just opens up right there? Almost a perfect 20 by 20 square with a lead-in stair. What must have been a stairwell. That's crazy. Let's walk around it, Stella, not through it. Hold on. Okay. This is filled in, but this is a circular right here where I am. Yep. This was a well. And it's right adjacent to the house. It's circular. But somebody filled this one in. Huh. So maybe each building or each few buildings shared a well. Yeah, this is definitely completely circular. If I keep walking around the edge of it, it's only about maybe 4 inches, 3 inches. It would be perfectly round. You can kind of see it there. Okay, so, and it's adjacent to the cellar hole. All right, come on up. I don't want you down there. Okay, let's go back over here, because it could be, what appears over here to be, it's not, it is a well, there's no doubt in my mind. But there is a very large depression around it, it appears to be. So I'm not certain. I remember being in up in Concord, Massachusetts, at the Orchard House, which is the home of the Alcotts, Bronson Alcott, the dad, and Louisa May and her sisters. You remember Little Women, right? Anyway, and Bronson Alcott was kind of a strange guy, but he was like, he did all kinds of weird things, and he and Henry Thoreau dug a well inside the kitchen of Orchard House. So if you go there to this day, they'll open the floor in the kitchen and you'll see there's a well right there. So they didn't have to go outside and fetch their water and stuff. So, if this was a tavern and if this is the cellar hole, this larger depression here, that could be what it is. It's the well that was actually inside of the tavern. It was done You know, Alcott's did it in, I guess they moved into Orchard House somewhere around 1850s, something like that. So this could have been added later. Who knows? I'm just, you know, speculating here. I don't really know, but it's odd that it's right here in the footprint of what could else be a cellar hole. So when I saw it from the road, I said, oh, there's a cellar hole. And it almost ended up being the death of us, huh? Huh, Stella? You would have climbed me out, wouldn't you? Shoot, she's sniffing. Look at her. Look at her. She's onto something here. Okay, look. The sun's going down. I think we need to make our way back to base camp. I would have loved to follow the trail all the way to Egg Harbor, Little Egg Harbor, I should say. But that have to wait for another day. So what we'll say for this adventure is, you know, thanks for coming along. And I hope you had some enjoyment out of it and some learning perhaps. And, you know, we'll see you down the road. And in the meantime,